What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Crypto Crossroads. And in today's episode, we have a Welcome to America edition video where we'll be focusing on three different companies: IXS, its sister company, InvestaX, and the RedBelly network. Now, if you guys are not familiar with any of these companies, then do me a quick favor, go down to my channel later on today when you have a chance, hit the playlist tab and check out these projects. I have made many deep dive series on these projects, giving you guys a full breakdown of what they do and who they're connected to, right? And while you're at it, also do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe button. And now let's move on to talk about these three companies. Already, so I think it's only fair to give you guys a quick, small introduction to these three companies. All three are actually tokenizing assets, right? RedBelly was co-developed by the University of Sydney and CSIRO, which is actually part of the Australian government. Now, what really drew my attention to this RedBelly network project is that Quant's Gilbert Burdian recognized RedBelly in one of his interviews and also on Twitter X, and CSIRO actually created Wi-Fi and now it's working on the RedBelly network project. So that's a reason or two reasons that I'm bullish on RedBelly. Now, if we look to the right side of the screen, we have IXS and InvestaX, two sister companies, and these two platforms actually share the same utility token, which is the IXS token, right? And it's really hard to dismiss those two logos underneath these companies because it's Coinbase and it's Circle. And they actually back these two companies along with other projects such as XTC, Hbar. You have what's that company called? Ventures, no, Spice Venture Capital, which is one of the founders is actually the CEO of Securitize. And to make things more bullish, Securitize is partnered with InvestaX. And then to put a cherry on top, InvestaX and this company called Open Trade is they're together they're offering BlackRock bond no, I mean sorry, they're offering BlackRock backed bonds, right? So that's pretty bullish. So real quick, shout out to XRP Steve over there on Twitter X who put me on that Spice VC connection with IXS and InvestaX. Now, I told you guys that these companies are focusing on tokenization of real world assets. So let's go to the RedBelly Network project website and check out what they expect for the RWA market to look like in 2030. At the bottom of the screen, we see $14.6 trillion, which is the RedBelly's estimate for the tokenized market in 2030. And then you can see how they got these numbers. And it was by taking a few companies and their estimates and creating an average between all these companies. So, one example is Citibank, which expects a $5 trillion market cap by 2030. Then we have BCG, which they expect $16 trillion by 2030. Now, I'll cover a couple more examples up on the screen, but since we're talking about BCG, I want to mention Lightlink real quick because one of the Lightlink co founders actually started her career with BCG, right? And that's Boston Consulting Group. And it's just noteworthy to mention that uh, BCG is connected to MIT and it's also connected to the CP Group, which are building and using the Lightning Network, right? And of course, the Red Belly team actually back in 2016, maybe 2017, they did a small present or actually a big presentation showcasing Red Belly's technology with MIT, right? So that's BCG. It's connected to CP Group and is partnered with MIT. And that's just something that I wanted to throw out there. But again, this is just a video for InvestaX, IXS, and RedBelly. So let's get back to this right here. And Another another company that's estimating the tokenized market to grow is Bank of America, and they expect a $16.1 trillion by 2030. So in all, the Red Belly team took the averages and they calculated a good about $15 trillion for the tokenized market by 2030, right? So now these two projects, Red Belly and IXS, and I guess we could throw in InvestaX as well, right? They're planning to enter the US market. The thing that's keeping a lot of companies away from the US market are regulations. And you guys know how that thing went down with SEC, what Gary Gensler is now gone. And the Trump administration is looking to facilitate, uh, innovation in America. So let's take a look at this video provided by 0x DJ's Tackle Bites, where he interviewed the Red Belly team member Tim Bass. So let's take a look at his takes on the U.S. market.
I feel like this is the first time that I've seen RedBelly on U.S. soil.
Yeah. Look, we're a very well known and respected academic project globally. It sort of goes back to our science agency roots, but we are pushing big into the US now. So we've got a team here now. We're tokenizing assets. We're looking for partners. And I think the sort of traction we've already got is giving us a bit of a head start. But there are a lot of general purpose blockchains that do RWA, but they also do metaverse and gaming and NFT. So we're super focused on the RWA sector, and we're sort of more thinking about how we solve the problem for the asset issuer or for the asset manager. And these are, compliant and licensed, and so they feel a little bit more comfortable doing business on a network that's sort of focused on this asset class by default than others that aren't. So I think we're going to see a lot of success here.
That's pretty awesome. That's awesome. I feel like.
Okay, guys, so that was Tim Bass, the Chief Growth Officer of the Red Belly Network team. And in a nutshell, the team, like many other project teams, are looking to enter the US market, right? And that's where the money is at. But Red Belly does have a plan on how to get to this, how to tap into the US. And one of them is that the Red Belly Network team started a patent application for the technology as early as 2018, right? And Red Belly started in 2016. So this project's been around for at least 9, 10 years, and they recently got a patent granted. So that's letting us know that the Red Belly team is serious and they're continuously building after all these years, right? And another thing to note was that Tim Bay said that they have a team dedicated to the US, and the person representing this team is named Jack Bronson, right? So that's the Red Belly trying to get into the US. But like I said, there's many projects looking to tap into the US soil, and one of these projects is IXS. So let's take a look at what Julian Kahn has to say about the US market. And he is very bullish. I'll say that. So let's take a look.
So for US, we will look to. We're not making any announcements yet, but if I was to put a wish list out there, I would say set up in the US. Get licensing, do it properly. Pull all our US friends into those vehicles so they're clean, safe, and it works. And now that we're heavily focused on Wall Street financial assets, RWA, it makes a hell of a lot of sense for someone in our position to go and make those moves. So yeah, all in all, I think America's brings. I was on this chat this morning. I think if I could, from my lens, my perspective, the hundreds of discussions and conversations and messages I have each week, so for all these years, I think that America is going to bring like 1,000x the firepower than what we've seen so far, and I think that's conservative. I think it might be 10,000, and I mean like as in, I think America is worth 1,000, and I think the rest of the world is worth 1. That's how I see it from capital and firepower, and not so. So for US.
Okay, guys, so that was Julian Kahn, the co-founder and CEO of IXS and InvestaX. And as you guys can tell, he's extremely bullish on entering the US market and just the US being a catalyst for the crypto and blockchain community, right? As an industry. Now, what I would like to show you guys now is that IXS and the RedBelly team, the RedBelly project, are partnering together. But to my knowledge, they haven't announced it publicly. So what I'll do right now is show you guys this post on Twitter X by one of my Web3 friends who goes by the name of Ladon. His Twitter handle is Real Ladon, so please give him a follow. He's really knowledgeable on many projects, but IXS is one project that he's taking a particular approach to. So here on Twitter X on July 17, 2025, he posted, "You may be interested to learn that RBNT, which is RedBelly, has seemingly been integrated into the IXS protocol. Both are under the radar gems, in my opinion, but won't be for long." And I gotta say, I agree with my friend. IXS and the RedBelly team, on the project, I should say, they're highly connected to many different projects, and they're tapping into an industry that is still hasn't taken off like it will by 2030, right? So both IXS and RedBelly have been working on real world assets before it became trendy. But that's something I wanted to share. But now let's look at that integration that my friend Laden was talking about. So let's take a look. Now, as you guys can see, there were a couple files on the GitHub for IXS Finance, and one specific file that I found that caught my attention is a couple of lines that read IXSwap, V2 Core, IXSwap SDK, and then below it you can see that the RedBelly mainnet and the testnet are being listed as Web3 providers. Now, what I think is going to happen is there's a partnership between the two, obviously, but it hasn't been announced. And I think together they're going to be tokenizing assets throughout the world. But before I show you guys, there was an AMA that took place on June 11, 2024, where RedBelly Network posted, and it was hosted along with Julian Kahn from IXS, Tim Bass from the RedBelly Network. Then we had Joe from Strike X, and also Adam from Defactor, right? And that is an AMA that I'm currently looking for. I can't find it online, but if you guys happen to come across it, then please do me a quick favor and drop that link in the comment section. Now, going back to this IXS and RedBelly partnership, what I think they will be doing is IXS will provide some form of liquidity through the IXSwap platform. And RedBelly, since it has tons of partners and about, I think, 50 to 70 billion dollars in RWAs signed under contracts, that type of money will be flowing through IXS through the IXSwap platform, right? So the RedBelly network KYCs everybody at the network level. So everybody participating on the network, they're identified. So it's really hard to have a bad actor. And if these individuals do something that's illegal or something immoral, it will be they wouldn't be able to do it privately because they got KYC and they got their identity was verified essentially, right? Now, so we see some type of compliancy with the RedBelly network. And then we have IXS and InvestaX that we all know are also fully compliant worldwide and are trying to tap into the US like the RedBelly team is. Now, imagine all that money that is sitting on RedBelly network flowing to IXS, right? What do you guys think will happen as soon as these transactions start taking place? And that's just all I'm gonna ask. You guys can go ahead and let me know down in the comment section. But now let's look at a similar project that RedBelly and the IXS team are working on, right? So we'll kick it off with RedBelly, and they have a structured product that is centered around Bitcoin, right? And it's focusing on Bitcoin yield. And it reads on their website, it reads Bitcoin in its dormant state earns no yield, zero yield. Yet it is highly liquid and a secure and rare and valuable trade. This combination makes Bitcoin a compelling asset and underwriting global economic risk, right? So then the Red Belly proposes a structured product around Bitcoin. And some of the bullet points are the Bitcoin holder provides security without having to sell their BTC, right? So they're talking about collateralized Bitcoin, right? Taking out a loan against your own Bitcoin. And then another bullet point is the property developer gets access to capital they couldn't otherwise obtain, which is that loan that I was just speaking of. The lender can issue loans without reduced risk, with reduced risk, and all participants share the economic value created, right? So that is Red Belly. Now let's go over to IXS and look at their structured product, which is also Bitcoin yield. And it tells you right here, you could take your Bitcoin and you could actually earn money. And we're talking about 4 to 10% APY in USDT. And you don't even have to sell your Bitcoin, right? You just take your Bitcoin, you probably lock it up, and you take a collateralized loan against it, and you get some stable coins in return, right? So that is something that institutions and even retail could benefit from. And that's where I think the future is going. So what I like about IXS and the Red Belly team project is that they're visionaries. You know, they've been working as early as 2015, 2016, and they're still continuously building, racking up patents and licenses, trying to enter the broader market, which is the US. I mean, you guys heard Julian Kahn saying that the US, in comparison to other countries, he estimates that whatever any other country could bring, the US will bring about 1,000x of value, right? And he's from Australia. He's not American, but he knows that America likes to invest in innovating technology because they will benefit greatly from it, and the economy will be reflected upon those investments, right? So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. You know, the Red Belly and the IXS InvestaX companies are looking to tap into the US economy, and they're, you know, I don't think they're too far away from it, and they're also partnered together. And to my knowledge, that hasn't been publicly announced. So that's all I wanted to bring to you guys. If you guys like this video, then please do me a quick favor, hit the like and subscribe button, leave a comment down in the comment section, and let me know your thoughts on these three companies and uh, where do you think the market is going in the near future. Again, I want to say thank you for tuning in, and as always, God is good, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.